Hi, and welcome to another episode Around the Neighborhood with me, Scott McMahon. And this is the show about the quest for fun, history, and mystery in our backyards. And today we're in West Linn at the historic Willamette district. And it's raining and it's cold. And the best way to get out of the rain and cold is head on over to the Willamette Ale Cider House. So before we go inside the Willamette Ale Cider House, a little bit of history about this particular building. It used to be the general store of this area for almost 100 years. So majority of the time, the general store was owned by the Fritchies. Ben Sr. bought the property in 1946 after moving his family out here from Nebraska after the Great Depression. Then his son, Ben Jr. took over years later. And it's interesting, when I was reading up on the history of the general store on the West Linn Historical Society, there was a little passage about how Ben grew up just down the hill here towards Willamette Park near the Tualatin River and Willamette River in the wetlands, where he used to just love playing with frogs. And I got a comment for another episode of mine where this person was commenting how they remembered growing up in Willamette playing with frogs. So anyway, during the time that Ben Jr. was living here and operating the general store, he was also a major contributor to the community. In fact, he actually helped bring together the old-time fair that we see every summer that happens down at the Willamette Park. With that said, let's go inside before the rain really comes down on us. So I grabbed myself the blueberry bourbon basil cider, and it's actually quite delicious. It's quite large, larger than I expected. I thought it was gonna be something like that. What I love about these bars is that underneath there's places to hang your jacket, your purse, your bag, and outlets if you need to charge up, you know, while you're just sitting here on your phone. So I'm back here in the Duke cellar just because it's not as noisy as outside. You can hear the music in the background. It was fun trying to, share the information to you while I was sitting at the bar, but we'll do it in the cellar here. The Willamette Ale Cider House is a English pub replica. In fact, it's family owned and operated. The family had toured and visited London or in places in England to get an idea of how their pubs were designed, took those design ideas back here to create this for us here locally in West Linn. What I understand too is that during the construction phase, it took almost 3 years to retrofit this old building. Remember, it was 100 years old, the old general store. And the front half of this building was like the general store and the cabinetry store and the hardware store. And for many years, I believe that the back half of the building was zoned as residential. So you had the front part zoned as commercial, and the attached building was zoned as residential. So there's a couple things they had to get through to fix so they can expand the entire building, to retrofit it, to add more structures, to take away some beams, to make it earthquake ready, and modernize it as much as possible, but keep the outside facade to the historic memories of what people remember the general store to be. As we walk down this corridor, you can see this is where the restrooms are, but behind this door, it's the secret door. And I've never been inside, but one of these days I will, because something is special back there, and we're gonna find out what. So as I understand it, the Shays who own this facility, they brought in a fellow named Alex Perez to bring his famous Spanish coffee to their establishment. So he's sort of the expert at concocting these drinks. And he won't be here until later tonight. So like I said, we'll be back when the band comes back, and it'll be a lot busier, a lot louder. And that's when I'll get my Spanish coffee and hopefully, you know, show you a little bit of the tunes, because I'm a fan of Smut City Jelly Roll Society. So we're back here at the Willamette Ale Cider House, and we're getting a chance to see the Smut City Jelly Roll Society. Come on in. So I just met Ann, one of the owners of the Willamette Ale Cider House, and she gave me more of a rundown of how the whole company's set up. So they own 7Bev, which is basically the main hub for everything they do, all their operations. And then Queen Orchard is the brand of cider. And under Queen Orchard is all the ciders that they make. Then part of that is that they acquired almost like 65 acres near Santa Lee Golf Course that they're going to eventually have enough harvest. They'll have a tasting center there. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the secret door, what's behind the secret door, because it's not ready yet, but it will be. As I was saying earlier today, like, what is behind the secret door? Eventually, you're going to be able to open this door, they're going to open this back part, and it's going to be a tasting room. Yes, one day we'll get a chance to be open to the public, the tasting room. But right now, it's a little hidden. So next time you're in West Linn, down in the historic Willamette district, make sure to stop by the Willamette Ale Cider House. And since this show is sponsored by my real estate services, all my contact information is listed below in case you have any questions about buying or selling a home, especially in this area. But in the meantime, I'll see you around the neighborhood. So Jay's sons are half Asian, as I'm half Asian. Does it mean I have any sort of skill set to build a pub like this or to create a winery like this? No, but I thought that was interesting. We're pretty much the only historic built